Hi guys, this is Afran once again from Eastway Toyota. Thank you so much for the feedback on the previous video that I had comparing the Grand Highlander and the regular Highlander. I've decided to do another video here, and I think this would be more relevant to some of you guys because these are the two most popular 7 and 8 passengers available with Toyota right now, with the addition of the Grand Highlander. Of course, I have a 2024 Grand Highlander here. That's an XLE. And I have a 2023 Sienna XSE. I took your advice from most of you guys on the comment section from the previous video and decided to put them flat, straight, right side by side next to each other versus an inclined ramp. Now I'm going to do my best, and I'll walk around both these cars so you get a decent idea of both these cars side by side. Both the vehicles are hybrid, so they run on the exact same powertrain, which is the 4-cylinder with the electric motor. The 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with the electric motor combined form that hybrid system. And if you look at both the cars right straight right next to each other, you'll notice that in terms of width they're almost neck and neck. It's the same type of width on both vehicles, excluding the mirrors. I think the Sienna does have a teeny bit, few inches over the Grand Highlander as far as the width is concerned. The Grand Highlander, however, does have the increased height. So the Grand Highlander is taller than the Sienna. And if you even look at the seats, you can notice that the Grand Highlander seats they sit higher versus the Sienna. Now the Grand Highlander is classified as an SUV, so the seats will be higher than the Sienna. And you can also notice that the Grand Highlander has a higher ground clearance versus the Sienna. So it's a little higher off the ground versus the Sienna. So if you're looking for something that sits higher off the ground, Grand Highlander, yes, is the better option. You can see that from the side as well, the increased ground clearance versus the Sienna. Now, in terms of length, I'm going to walk around the vehicle first from the Sienna side, and then I'll go to the Grand Highlander. The Sienna does have an extra few inches over the Grand Highlander, so I would say roughly about 2 inches or 1.5 inches versus the Grand Highlander. And walk over the Grand Highlander side. Grand Highlander is not a small vehicle, it's quite long as well. When you see it next to a Sienna, you get a full glimpse of what the actual size of this car is. Now, the big question, which is the trunk space. Pop open the Grand Highlander, and then we'll pop open the Sienna. Now, as a minivan, yes, in terms of space, cargo space, the Sienna has the additional depth there. That is thanks to the reduced ground clearance, right? So you can see it has the additional depth, which the Grand Highlander won't have. However, still a very competitive trunk space in the Grand Highlander, as you can see right here. I'm going to put them side by side to do my best to show you what the trunk space looks like on both vehicles. The Sienna does have the cargo net installed, so I apologize for that. There you go. That's the Sienna trunk space versus the Grand Highlander. That should give you a decent idea. Now with the Grand Highlander, I do have a stroller at home. Now with the stroller here, I can just throw the stroller inside. It'll go in easily, no issues whatsoever. I can have it vertical or horizontal. Whereas here, I don't think I can have the stroller vertical, but more on I've tried the stroller horizontal and it fits perfectly in the car. No issues. It didn't fit in my regular Highlander. That's the trunk space right there in both the vehicles. And as far as the second row is concerned, I'll try to jump in both the cars. The Sienna, being a minivan, does have the advantage of the sliding doors. It makes it easy in those little tough spots right there, with the Grand Highlander having the regular doors right there. A little tough right there. But in terms of room, so I'll jump into the Sienna. Again, nice leg room, second row. Of course, I can move the seats front and back as well, but this would be a comfortable position for me. I'm almost 6 feet tall, so you can see where my knees are, my feet, and on the driver's seat right there by the door. I can just jump right into the Grand Highlander from here straight, but I gotta be careful about that door. That's one solid advantage of a minivan, those sliding doors. Can't beat that. Now, if I go to the seat here, comfortable to me. I'm very comfortable in the car. Although you can see, as far as the room is concerned, the Sienna did have a lot more leg room, but I'm not uncomfortable. I'm very comfortable here. And of course, these seats go forward and back as well. Now, as far as the third row is concerned, both the cars are very competitive there. There's the Sienna. That's the leg room on a Sienna. If I take the same leg room, going to the Grand Highlander here, that's not bad at all. The one advantage the Grand Highlander has is all the amenities here in the third row. So if you look at the third row amenities, in the Sienna, you just have cup holders, and you have like you have the USB slots right there. You have one USB standard and one USB-C. The Grand Highlander does have a lot more of those amenities in the third row. That's one area where the Grand Highlander kind of takes the win. You can see it has cup holders. On one side it has cup holders and the tablet holder, along with one USB-C port there that also acts as a handle to get in. Whereas over here, you have the same. You have two cup holders, a tablet holder, and you have a USB-C. So amenities wise, yes, there's a lot more amenities in the third row here. And in terms of leg room, that's a lot of leg room in the third row. And these seats can recline as well. So can these. But as far as third row comfort is concerned, the Sienna will have decent space, but I think in terms of just amenities, the Grand Highlander takes the third row amenities right there. Closing the trunk. As far as options are concerned with the seat, see the Sienna interior, gauge cluster there. That's the front of the Sienna. Doesn't have the 12-inch display like the Grand Highlander, but a similar, very similar steering wheel, along with the multi-information display in the middle. The Sienna, of course, when you go to the tech package, you can get a DVD. Sorry, I shouldn't call it a DVD right now. An entertainment system up here on the roof with a big screen. No panoramic sunroof on the Sienna. The Grand Highlander, this is an XLE, it shouldn't have the panoramic, but in the Grand Highlander, you do not get a DVD or a home entertainment system, but you do get the panoramic sunroof when you go towards the higher end packages. That's the front console on a Sienna. You get on a Grand Highlander, sorry, a similar steering wheel, but the cluster involves a 12.3-inch display there. Again, with a lot more options here. And of course, the options go up when you go to the limited and platinum packages with the multi-terrain select. This being an SUV, of course, that's one of the reasons why. But yes, very competitive vehicles. They offer similar stuff on both the cars. However, they're two different, I would say, personality or lifestyle choices, right? There's many people who prefer the Sienna, and there's many people who are not gonna want to drive a minivan, but who want an SUV that offers similar options like a minivan. So the Grand Highlander kind of sits perfectly in the boat there. So as far as trunk space is concerned with the third row up, both are very, very competitive. They have amazing leg room in the third row. Second row has many options with reclining, inclining, and pushing the seats front and back. Technologically, they're both well equipped. Very competitive cars, very competitive cars. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to making more of these for you in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope the video was helpful, and I'll try to do as many videos as I can for future comparisons with new cars. Take care now. Bye-bye.